The tourist visiting Rajasthan is likely to start in one of the three great cities, Udaipur, Jodhpur or Jaipur. Choosing Udaipur, a hotel on the shores of the famous Lake Pichola, is most desirable, and the view from the roof can only be described as stunning. Tourists will also enjoy the hotels, whose interiors can be quite exquisite. This is the lounge of the Bissau Palace in Jaipur, with hand-painted wallpaper. Once you leave the cities, you may be lucky enough to travel on one of the new highways that are being constructed to link major population centres in India. This is the road north from Udaipur, heading towards Jodhpur. It's also the route to take if you're visiting the Wakal River Basin, where a number of Wells for India projects are situated. Today we are not tourists, but on our way to visit the villages in Phase 2 of the Wakal River project, supported by a major grant from the 4-acre trust. About an hour out of Udaipur, we leave the highway and soon find ourselves on a more typical country road, narrow and bumpy. As we near the first village, motor traffic gives way to more traditional forms of transport, a camel mother and her young offspring. Before entering the village of Chuli itself, we stop to take a look at the surrounding countryside. This landscape is pretty typical of the higher parts of the Wakal Basin, basically an arid terrain, but with patches of bright green where irrigation has been made possible by water harvesting. We're quite high up here, over 1,000 meters above sea level. Looking over to the other side of the road, we can see a dramatic contrast, with a small lake created by an anicut or small dam, and a large area of winter wheat growing. This is very promising, since winter wheat is a second crop, only possible with water harvesting in place. It more than doubles the agricultural output of a village. Moving closer to Chuli village centre, we stop and find a group of children approaching. They are the vanguard of the village welcoming party. Not far behind are the musicians, banging drums and clashing cymbals. Almost a biblical scene. We listen to the musicians and then follow the procession towards the newly completed lift irrigation system, which we have been asked to inaugurate. Now we have almost reached the white construction, which houses a pump system with an adjoining well that has been built to collect water harvested from the monsoon rains.
And 45 is the land irrigated by this lift.
Here we can see the large well in close-up, full of water that is to be used for irrigation, and so the surface scum is not a problem. Mr. Nagda, head of our partner MKS, then introduces us to the villagers. An important task awaits us, to unveil a plaque commemorating the inauguration of the lift system. After Emily and Peter have unveiled the plaque, the pump is started, and soon water can be seen flowing 600 or so meters higher up, ready to be directed onto a field system that would otherwise be unproductive. At another village that we visited the same day, Lambi Semal, we met the leader of the village development committee, Mr. Chakla, and his wife.
Say it again.
This tank is having 50,000 liter water capacity.
Yeah.
And this roof rain water harvesting station is before 3 to 4 months in this monsoon season. And 2 families are used this water for their domestic and livelihood purpose.
As our MKS guide explains, a roof rainwater harvesting system has been installed here on the roof of his house, collecting some 50,000 litres of monsoon rain into an underground tank.
Thursday of the rainy season, we all opened this filter.
Mrs. Champa, leader of the village self-help group, and her friend watch a demonstration of the hand pump that brings water up from the underground tank. As we scan the surrounding fields, we can see a good crop of mustard, which it has now been possible to grow with the help of the stored water, and also some other arid areas that cannot yet be irrigated.
From last 1 year, this village is connected with road. There is no road connected from last year. There is also a group leader of this village.
And of course, we are objects of great curiosity to the village children. After visiting Chuli, our party moved on to Kunti Kaleva, where a large number of villagers from several of the Wakal Phase 2 village projects were gathering for a special meeting. As we approached the place where they were all assembling, we were again greeted in the traditional way, and this time with red marks or tilaks on our foreheads and a woolen bracelet on our wrists. We then moved on to the gathering place, sheltered from the sun by a specially erected awning. The children, immaculate in their school uniforms, sat in the front rows, with their parents behind.
विलायत आया विलायत जने कहाँ अभी इंग्लैंड हाँ इंग्लैंड आया ज्या योजना अपने थे पानी वाली जो योजना आनी वाकल में चली रही है थे जांबू हम लगाएं.
Mr. Nagda, head of our partner MKS, introduced the proceedings, while the villagers listened attentively. Meanwhile, we sat on the floor at the front, wearing either a turban or a pretty shawl, given to us as honoured guests. Then the musicians started to play on their traditional instruments. We were watching a reenactment of part of the process that goes on during the first year of the project, when music and dance is used to convey important messages to the villagers as a means of reaching agreement and buy-in on key aspects of the planned project. As we watched the dancers, we thought how very graceful they were. We were quite surprised to learn later on that the women were actually male dancers. So this area is fed by gravity channel?
Yeah. Now this areas.
Yes.
Phase 1 village.
So total 3 water harvesting constructed in this village.
Later in the day, we visited Bilaria,
So now this area
one of the first phase villages, where work had been completed 2 or 3 years ago. It was most impressive to see how well the villagers were maintaining the irrigation works, resulting in good winter wheat crops, a true measure of the sustainability achieved by these projects. Is that wheat and mustard? To conclude this video, here are some children from Kunti Kaleva singing a song to us about how delighted they are with the way their lives have been transformed. Our thanks, and theirs, go to 4 Acre Trust, who have made all this possible.